Well, that's great. And we're live now, by the way, and that's terrific. And so this debate class, I thought today I want to do it a little differently. So I'm going to show you this screen here. And instead of having that slideshow that I showed everybody previously, I just really want us to focus on the basics, because it's not about having a debate, okay? It's what I would call an advanced conversation class, where we want to focus on well-articulated, well-spoken, evidence-based conversation. I'm not concentrating on debate etiquette here. Okay? So the whole purpose of this class is to have an idea, right? So we have our introduction, we have a key point, some evidence. Now, it might not be from a university, you might make it up, but the whole point is to create this well-articulated, evidence-based conversation on the topic. Now, since you were in this morning's class, you have an idea, okay?
Yeah.
You have an idea already. And again, speak slowly and thoughtfully. And Anatoly, welcome. I'm talking to you as well. When we speak slower, like I'm speaking now, adding pauses, people listen more. When I speak really fast like this and I talk about the different stages, opening statement, royals, closing statements, and all this stuff, and I go into the basics, you start to get a headache and you get bored. That's normal. So remember, when you're speaking, and I'll keep this up on the screen most of the time, but focus. Speak slowly and thoughtfully.
Yeah, that's something I do usually. I speak quickly. My thoughts are just messed up. I will try to do my best.
Good. All right. So Anatoly, I have a question for you. What is the resolution for today's class?
To speak clearly, using articulated tactics for concentrating attention of audience on the subject.
Okay, that's brilliant. If you can do that, that's great. But that's not what the word resolution means. So let me say it another way. What is the debate topic for today?
Debate topic. Okay. Technology makes our lives easier.
Brilliant. It's very simple, isn't it?
Yes, it is interesting. Usually, it is interesting topic for conversation.
Good. So now, Luba, it's a simple topic. It's a simple sentence. No complex words or construction. But could you easily agree with that statement?
I can't easily agree to this statement because I think that we have to take everything with a grain of salt and do not consider that it's true or not true. It depends a lot.
Let me interrupt you, because in this class it doesn't. You either agree with the resolution or you disagree. There is no middle ground.
Okay, then I do agree.
Right. But now if I ask you to disagree, could you disagree with it?
What do you mean?
Okay.
I can disagree with this resolution because I am really addicted to gadgets, and right now in that phase of my life I'm trying to use as less gadgets as I can, and they harm my life.
Good.
Sometimes.
Well, now that we've got everybody here, I'm gonna go into my little intro, and then we're gonna get started with opening statements. So everybody, put yourself to mute unless you're speaking, because we need our quiet. So there's no distraction from noises. Nudge, nudge, man. All right, I'll mute you then. Okay, so our debate topic today is technology makes our lives easier. I'm sure we can all agree that there's technology in our lives that makes it easier. I certainly believe that the wheel is an amazing piece of technology. I think the pen and paper is also amazing. Yes, these are technologies. But today we think of technology as anything electronic-based. However, I can also easily say that technology makes my life more difficult. People always expect you to be at work, always responding. You have to be responsive all the time. So, it's true then that really technology makes our lives easier and difficult. But in debate class, you can't be so open-minded. You must focus on either one topic, sorry, not one topic, one position that technology makes our lives easier, and you agree with that, or you disagree with that, and it makes our lives, well, the opposite of that, right? It doesn't make it easier. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to practice something what we call opening statements. As I'm sure all of you are aware, you've all watched movies, you're familiar with a court setting in a traditional common law situation where the lawyer introduces his client and says his client is innocent. He then goes on to describe what his client has been accused of and how he's going to prove him innocent. Well, it's the same here. I'm going to give you 2 minutes, each of you, to introduce the resolution that technology makes our lives easier. You must then give us some information, right? Some key points and evidence, and then a conclusion. Okay? Now, I'll leave it up to you. You can decide whether you're going to support the affirmative or the negative. But you must be clear. So as you guys are talking, I'm going to be typing, making points. If you see a 1, I'm giving you credit for something you have said. All right? So you will each have 2 minutes. I highly recommend you use a timer on your own smartphone or computer, because it's always better if you end before the time's up than me to cut you off. So again, your position, it's either the affirmative, yes, you support that, or you disagree with, technology makes our lives easier. Introduce yourself, the topic, then provide as many key points with evidence before providing your conclusion. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to start with Anatoly, then I'll go to David, then I'll go to, who is this here? Hogan, then Nan, and then finally Luba. All right, so again, some good things to keep in mind. We're not worried about debate etiquette. I want you to focus on speaking clearly, providing evidence-based conversation. Articulate your thoughts with proof. Anatoly, are you ready, sir?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Okay. My name is Anatoly. I'm from Russia, and I'd like to introduce my point of view about using iPad or other tablets for preparing for exams. I think it is a very great tool, and I achieved good enough estimate when I passed my professional exam because I used iPad for preparing for it. My conclusion is it is very useful, and I strongly recommend to try it.
Great, well done in less than a minute. Very clear, succinct, to the point. The only thing I might recommend, Anatoly, it wasn't quite clear if you supported the resolution or not. So the one thing I did not hear is the resolution title, which is in our class title, Technology Makes Our Lives Easier. Believe it or not, just literally saying that, because you did a great introduction, who you are, where you're from, and clearly you did believe that technology was good. But I would have said, been more clear and said, my position is that technology makes our lives easier.
Yes, this technology helped me to pass exams successfully, and technology in general makes our lives easier.
Good. Perfect. Also, you have opportunities to come up with more points too, because if you had gone an extra minute, which you were allowed, you could have scored more points. But I still like your structure. It was very good. Well done.
Thank you.
David, you are up next. Are you ready?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. I can. My timer starts as soon as you start talking.
Good morning. My name is David. I'm calling from the States, and I support the statement that technology makes our life easier. It's easier to look around and see your life surrounded by technology. Why do we do that? Because technology makes our life easier. We have our cell phone with a lot of applications to help us to be on time for work, to be on time for classes, to review vocabulary for language examinations, to keep update with the news. We have cars that let us know, that have GPS and let us know where we're going and to be on the right time and on the right path. At home, we have microwaves that save time from cooking. We have smart TVs that can record our best shows, and we can just watch them at our leisure time when we wanted them to watch them. So technology is really making our life more pleasant, more enjoyable, and also saving time for what really matters, which is your family and your friends and your things that you like to do. Technology definitely makes our life more easier. Thank you.
Now, David's been attending my debate classes for some time, and it's pretty clear he understands the format right away. Now, David, if you're familiar with taking classes with him, David likes to talk really fast. Right from the start, he chose a good speed, and he stuck with it. It's very important. He drew us in, and he got all this within less than 2 minutes. Clear introduction, clear statement of the resolution. And by the way, guys, I am not using proper grammar, and I'm not correcting as I type, because you guys are talking fast enough, I can't clearly do that. So please, anything I type in the group chat may be subject to spelling mistakes, and it's point form. But you can see how many different points David listed. Now, if you're going to disagree with the resolution, you've got plenty of information from David and Anatoly here. Now, David did add one more thing. Not only does it make our lives easier, but more enjoyable. He's almost added something to the resolution, so now you can argue that not only is it not easier, but it makes it less enjoyable. It gives you something else to attack. But David, well done. Good job.
Thank you.
Hello, Hogan.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Where are you from, Hogan?
I'm originally from Korea South, but I'm currently living in Los Angeles, California.
Wonderful. So good morning to you then, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon or good evening, I don't know.
No, I'm in North America as well, and I'm Eastern Standard Time, so
okay.
It's noon.
All right.
All right, sir. Well, I think you've been here for the whole class. You understand what we're trying to do, even though you've never had this class before. Are you ready to have a go?
Yes, I will try. Yeah.
All right. As soon as you start, I will start the timer.
Okay. My name is Hogun. Today I'm going to talk about the technology, why technology makes life easier. I strongly agree with that. When you wake up early in the morning, you probably with help from the alarm clocks. So previously you had the just physical alarm clock, but these days you have the smartphone, so you can put many times you can put. So when you wake up and before you go to work, you can check your Google Map so that how long will it take from home to work. So when you go home, you can turn on the navigator so that you can immediately see where is the accident and where which route you have to take to get to work as fast as possible. So you can check with the Gmail, and you can talk with other people with chat. So these days the life is much easier. So one thing quickly, if you choose you live in here right now, or you choose go back to some years before, then what would you like to choose? That definitely answers that what is the technology makes us easier. So so without those technologies, you probably not your life much difficult, I guess. So the one typical example that I'm using is if you have a like the fast track example. So if you don't know the traffic condition, you end up with stuck into the road which you don't like. But this is with the technology, you can make your life, you can go home very fast and easier without any hassle. So I conclude that the technology makes life much easier than before.
Perfect. You went right to the minute. Now, a couple of things. Now, I like this again. Intro supports resolution, shows lots of examples of why it's better. But I don't know if you guys are noticing this. You're assuming we remember the past. So, for example, why is it good that my smartphone has many alarms? Why? Well, what did we have before? It's helpful to compare to the past. So, for example, in the old days, we used to have these alarm clocks that were hooked up to the power, to the wall. And if the power went out, our alarm didn't work. Then they came out with battery backup. So now you have to make sure the battery was charged because they didn't use rechargeable batteries. Now, well, I can use a smartphone, and not only can I set the alarm from a weekdays, I can set separate alarms for Saturday and Sunday. I could even set a timer. So try to keep that in mind. David and Hogan, you guys did a very good job of listing so many different ways our lives are better. But you could have done a much better job of showing your position had you had have compared it to the past. So keep that in mind. And that'll make it difficult for your opponents. Now, right now, nobody is supporting the affirmative position, sorry, the negative position, but that might change. Hi, Nan. Nan?
Hi.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, I want you to wait 30 seconds because I've got to go upstairs and get my water. I left it there, and if I don't, my voice is going to go. So give me a few moments to get my water, and then it'll be your turn.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. So, Nan, whenever you're ready, start talking, and I will start the timer.
Okay. My name is Nan. I'm from China. I'm currently living in Japan. I also support the argument that technology makes our lives easier. First of all, it is because technology in use of transmission. For example, like a smartphone. So we can when we use smartphone, we can easily type in a smartphone and to exchange our messages with our friends, even if we were on a train or we are working. And we also can, even if there's no signals from the smartphone, and we can use the Wi-Fi router. We get signals from there. So it makes our lives easier. The second reason is that technology in use of transportation. For example, there's fast speed trains in Japan, and normally it takes, for example, 6 hours we transport from one one place to another place. Because of the technology, it saves our time when only if 2 hours to transmit from one place to another. So it really saves our life it saves our time in our daily lives. The third reason is that technology in use of navigation. For example, the navigation in a car or in a taxi, so we can easily locate the destination that we want to go. So we can easier find out other places, and it also can save our times. And the last reason.
I will stop you right at your time. That's why it's always good for you guys to use your smartphones to set your own timer so you don't go over, so you get all your thoughts in. First of all, very clear. Intro, resolution, identified 3 points, went through them, provided facts. Now I gave you more than 3 points because, well, I identified different points in here that I can give you credit for. So very, very focused, very clear, very well articulated. Now I liked what you said about navigation. So for example, for me now, I don't look at bus schedules because I really don't care. Unlike Japan or South Korea, our schedules aren't always on time for various reasons. So if I want to know when I should leave for the bus, I don't go ahead and look at the schedule. I'll look at the schedule to see when it's supposed to be leaving, but I'll take a look and I'll pick the bus that I take, and I can see exactly where it is within an accuracy of 30 seconds. Now to me, that's useful. And if I've missed the bus, well, I'm not going to walk and waste time, but most of the times I'm not going to miss the bus, and I don't spend as much time waiting for it. So very good points. Now, none of you have supported the negative, so I'm going to have to make some changes in the next round, but we haven't heard from Luba yet, and I'm curious to see if Luba loves technology as well. Luba, are you ready?
Yes. Hello, my name is Luba. I'm from Russia, and today's debate's resolution is technology makes our life better, and I have to disagree with this point. I do not support it. But firstly, before I come to my own ideas about that, I want to sum up where we stand in this debate and tell you about my thoughts, what I have from my opponents. Firstly, I do agree with Anatoly that technology helps us to learn something and to prepare for exams, but if we use it too much, then we don't have a possibility to be a good thinker and to be creative. If we can find everything on Google or somewhere else, we do not have time to stop and think for ourselves and to make our brains more flexible. Also, I want to say that David has a very good point about household appliances that saves time in the kitchen. But do you remember old-fashioned way of cooking together in the afternoon or in the evening? And it creates a home atmosphere of love and that gathering together when you cook and all kitchen is a mess. Yes. So I do agree with all of them, and of course we can't imagine ourselves in the world without technology, but I want to say that if we dare to take that adventure,
Great.
that
I cut you off. I'm strict with everyone, but I like where you were going in this. And you know what, you can tell that Luba's been taking a lot of my classes too, because you're dealing with a lot of the advanced parts of debate. So yes, you supported the resolution. Yes, you took courage to do what nobody else has done with a negative. And I love this. I agree. Or you summed up the points, which is excellent. And you said, I agree with my opponent, but you can agree with your opponent on one point, but that doesn't mean you think they're right. What you're saying is, I agree with them on this point, but they haven't clearly thought it out. Just because point A is correct doesn't mean that point B is assumed to be correct. Right? So, very good point. Technology can make our lives easier, but if we're not social anymore with our family, well, it's making our lives better, but is it really making our lives better? Is what important being lost? So, great job, Luba. I love the approach you take. You've all done a terrific job. So, let me share out my notepad again. So, let's look at things here. So the basics, we have an introduction, key point, and conclusion. Now, each of you did very well here. I would suggest some of you work on the introduction a little bit. You know who you are. Key point and evidence, I think, was very good. The only thing I would suggest here is, I think the only thing we didn't do a lot of is, and Luba, I think, is the only person who did this, compare or contrast to the past. It's easier, yes, I think it's easier, but why is it easier? Well, one person mentioned transportation, and it was none. So it used to take 6 hours, now it takes 2 hours. Yeah, I get it. I can see why it's easier, right? Well done. So we've done the opening statement. Now we're going to focus on rebuttals. Here, I'm going to give you guys each 2 minutes as well. I normally only give 1 minute, but you guys are all bright. You clearly understand this stuff down here about speaking slowly, articulating your thoughts with proof. You're providing evidence-based conversation. So I think this is terrific. So I'll give you 2 minutes. I also challenge you. Consider taking a different position this time. You don't have to support the same position you did before. Now, you're very lucky here. Look at all this information group chat. You've got a ton of research already here. That's why I'm typing, is it's to help you. Okay. So I'm going to go back to Anatoly.
Okay.
Give me a second. I got your name, timer set. As soon as you start talking, I will start the timer. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Anatoly, and I'm from Russia. I wanted.
Sorry,
I want.
interrupt you. Sorry,
Yes.
one thing I clearly forgot to say. Because it's a rebuttal, you guys have already provided opening statements before, so you don't really have to provide your opening statements. You don't have to go through the same.
Oh, okay.
But if you change you really should. I would restate your resolution, because if you change it, we're not going to know. So restate the resolution. But the key focus here should be on attacking points that have already been raised. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So attack those points, and then you can introduce new evidence. But the focus here is on attacking and further backing up your resolution. So I'll restart the timer. Go ahead, Anatoly.
Okay. I'd like to agree with this statement. Technology makes our lives easier. As example, I'd like to mention possibility to write for children, to write using their hands, not using keyboards on the computer. I can mention also possibility to calculate, to use numbers in our mind. It is very difficult to find nowadays between the young generation people who are able to calculate without any technology devices, without computers, etc. And I think we need to be very careful about using technology in our lives. We need to keep our nature. We need to think more and do more using traditional ways. And I'm sure that it could help to keep our artificial skills and to provide traditional prices, deals, maybe this one. Thanks.
The resolution, you start off supporting it, but clearly you're supporting the negative position, so you're not supporting the resolution, right? So you're talking about how, like, can you find anybody today that can do math in their heads, or do they need computers or calculators, right? The dependence on technology. So I think it was very good. It's just dependence isn't always good. All right, David is up next. All right, David, you have 2 minutes starting when you start talking.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't let yourself into the assumption, into the thinking that technology makes your life easier. It is not true. It may seem that technology helps you to make your life easier, but are you really more restful at the end of the day? Do you really have more time to spend time with your family at the end of the day? Do you feel smarter because you have more technology? Your food tastes better because you use technology? I'm sure that you are thinking about these questions, and the answer is no. Technology makes us believe that we can be smarter, that we have more time to spend with our family, but in reality, it's not true. At the end of the day, we're still tired from work. We have less time to spend with our children and our wife or partners. We have less time to spend with our friends. And what's even worse is that we are losing the skills to communicate with other people in person. We don't talk anymore on the phone. We text people. When we go to a coffee place, we prefer spending time on our cell phones, talking to somebody far away from where we are, instead of spending that time with the person in front of us. Technology is not making us smarter. We don't use our creativity anymore. Everything is in the computer. We allow the computer to rule our lives. Technology is not making our life easier. It's the opposite.
Simon, you're muted.
Yeah, but I said some really amazing stuff.
We didn't hear it.
Darn. Okay, well, I said lots of good things about you.
Thank you.
A very well articulated argument. One thing I noticed right away was not what David said, but how he said it. In a movie, when you hear music like this, dun 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 dun, you know something is going to happen that's not good. You hear something like this, dun 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 dun. Well, probably something good's going to happen. David slightly changed his tone, and I don't know if he did this on purpose, but his tone had me to believe that he was going to support the negative position, and clearly he was on it. He did it well. And what David did, he didn't necessarily focus on what technology was good at or bad at. What he focused on is what is important to people. So we've always had families. We've always eaten food. Well, has technology made these parts of our lives better? No? Okay. What about sleep? Being restful? No, it hasn't. And that's what David was doing. He was going back to all those things that we all know very well. And in fact, studies indicate that we aren't as well rested, we get less sleep, we work more, we're afraid of losing our jobs. So David very, very well tapped into that. But he wasn't finished. That was only half of his argument. If it wasn't clear what he was saying, and he articulated this by saying, and you're probably asking yourselves these questions, he hit harder by going on and saying, we are tired at the end of the day. We do spend less time with our family and friends. But again, if it wasn't clear as to why, well, he went back and said, we're losing the skills to communicate in person. How? We talk to people far away, even when people are close by. So very well done, David. It was like a well-written essay. You went point to point to point. Did you do any studying of this before class?
No, I just came up with the idea right now.
Well done, and I think everybody agrees that you did a good job there too.
Thank you.
Now keep in mind though, David has been to most of my classes on this, so if some of you are new to this class going like, wow, I'll never do that, now trust me, you will. You know, it's like I've summarized here. It's very simple. You have your introduction. Hi, my name is. I support the affirmative. Or you can say, I support the position that technology makes our lives easier, or I disagree with the resolution that technology makes our lives easier. And then key point. This is what David did. Key point, evidence. Key point, evidence. Sometimes you can just do key point, key point, key point, evidence, 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 a conclusion point for that. Then you can introduce more key points, provide some evidence, and summarize that. You don't have to do the summary right at the end. You can kind of summarize every few points, okay? And then a conclusion, and that's really what David has done. So we did our opening statement, we're doing our rebuttals, and they're going quite well. Hogan, are you ready?
Okay. Hi, this is Hogan again. Previously, I supported technology makes our life easier, but now I want to talk about a little bit different way technology not really make our life easier. So let's take a look at the language translation. So previously, we don't have any tools for language translation. So we have to got the script and we handwrite it and submit to the publisher, then they pay us. But these days, we have automatic translation tools. So the publisher expect us to use those tools. So they expect we can do more and better quality. So and the rate is getting down. So that's not the technology makes our life easier. There's another example. These days everybody has smartphone, but what if you didn't bring your smartphone? What can you do? Can you call your mom? Can you call your son? So if you don't know how to get there without the smartphone, can you get there without any hesitation? Maybe some the different location you never heard, then without can you find it? So these days a lot of people dependent on the machine. So if suddenly some machine is not working as expected, then it's kind of chaos for you. So you really have to be smarter and you have to be the machine wisely. Otherwise you will be dumb. You will be very difficult to live. So I don't think technology makes life easier for everybody. So that's my conclusion. Isn't it too early? I didn't actually press the start button.
No, it was good. It was a different position. And this was interesting. In a way, you were supporting the resolution, but you were attacking it. So you were saying that, you know, smartphones are good because it allows you to navigate, communicate, and all this. But what happens when it doesn't work or we lose it? Life becomes chaos, right? And because we all do this. Our smartphones stop working, we drop it, we break it, or the network goes down, or electricity goes out. And what we find each time the electricity goes out, we can do less and less. We used to have candles, we don't anymore because, well, we assume everything's going to work. And I like that approach. You're saying, yes, technology is good and we can do all this, but when it doesn't work, this happens. When it malfunctions, this happens. When we lose it, this happens. And the effects of not having that technology when it leaves us, we're less able to be productive because we don't have those old schools. So well done, Hogan. That was a different approach.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Nan.
Hi.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Hey, I'm curious to hear your point. Whenever you start talking, I'll start the timer.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I don't agree that technology makes our lives easier. The first reason is that, for example, technology in use of medication. It seems like the technology in use of medication make our lifespan be extended. But just think more of it. For example, the implantation of our organ, or we can see we can find an replacement of it. But can't you ever think about it? If the patient who wear a replacement, she or he has to be very careful to the electric signals. For example, she or he can't stand nearby a person who is using a smartphone or using a laptop that is receiving signals. It would be very damaged for that, very damaged for her, for the replacement of her organ. And also, the second point of view is that we know that we can, because of the talk technology, we can talk on the phone at any time we want. But have you ever think about that? If you are waiting for a trains coming, so just because of that, you focus on the smartphone, so there might be caused an accident that you just fall off the subway, and unfortunately you will die because you didn't recognize that the train is coming. So in this case, all the customers in the train can't drive their workplace on time, and also your family members will also very painful for the death for your death.
Thank you.
Is my time? Is that a time?
Oh yeah, definitely your time. Speaking of your time, I thought it was quite interesting. And I don't know if it's in Russia. I think it was in Russia, but I know a few countries have actually banned taking selfies in certain areas because people are killing themselves, literally. Oh, I'm at the edge of a cliff. Hey, let's take a selfie. Oops, I fall over the cliff. You know, strange but true.
Yes.
Hey, how are you? Yeah. Crash. Get into a crash, right?
Yes.
Now, maybe this is more to support the resolution that people are stupid. I don't know. But, yeah, technology does kill. So, a lot of great approaches here. There's 5 of you. We need 10 minutes. Now, thankfully, I've already done a bit of preparation for the next class, so we can go over. So this is where I need each of you to focus on the conclusion.
What about me?
Oh, I'm skipping you, Luba.
Why?
No, I'm kidding. Sorry, I forgot. I don't know why.
How you forgot me? It's impossible. You know, that's the reason technologies don't make our lives easier.
No, I just got a bad memory, and technology is not. Well, technology is helpful.
Yes, we have bad memory because of the technology, because we rely on technologies too much.
No, my mother had a bad memory. So did my father, and I'm copying. I'm in my genes. My code is copied from theirs.
No, it's always easy to. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, we need to. I want to give everybody a chance for conclusion. So, Luba, go ahead and do your rebuttal. You have 2 minutes starting now.
Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, again. And I do not support the idea that technology makes our life easier. And in order to support my ideas, I'd like to talk about kids and damage which is done to them by technology. First, it's a physical damage. When they sit too much in front of the computers or chatting or texting, they get fatter and they have weaker heart and all health problems which can be connected with sitting style of life. Also, it's an emotional damage because they do not learn how to communicate face to face and can't understand how to solve problems in conversation if they have any. And also it's a social damage because in the past children tend to play in the yards like they gathered in big companies and they knew exactly what and how to play different outdoor games. Nowadays, they tend to play more computer games rather than outdoor games. And also, it leads to less communication between children and parents, and that's why parents can't help children to grow smarter and have better lives.
Okay, good. Problems with maturity, yes. Kids are 30 years old and they're still acting like kids instead of adults. Well done. Health problems, obesity. Although I would argue that it wasn't technology that brought on obesity because we've been sitting in chairs since the Industrial Revolution. There's another reason for obesity, but technology doesn't help. Let's put it that way. Okay. I'm going to give each of you 2 minutes for your conclusion. Anatoly starts first, but I'm not going to give him any prep time because we don't have enough time. I'm going to rush this piece a bit, giving you each 2 minutes because, oh my God, I've got 3 minutes for my next class if I don't hurry up. So Anatoly, go ahead. You have 2 minutes starting now.
Okay. We heard today lots of arguments about this topic. If technology makes our lives easier. And we observed that we can argue using one point of view and different point of view. And we can give lots of examples which prove our statements. It means that we need to think about this topic more and more. We need to think about different sides of this problem, this deal, and as a conclusion, I'd like to say that arguing is always good.
Thank you. And actually, I would say that an argument is better than a debate because in an argument you try to come to consensus.
Okay.
Resolution. Nobody ever solves anything in a debate. David, you have 2 minutes. If you can take less, all the better. Your time starts now, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, most of us realize that technology is not really helping us to live better lives or more productive life or easier lives. To the contrary, technology makes our life more difficult. And what is even worse, technology doesn't allow us to spend more time with the people who really care in our lives, our lovers, our wives, our children, our friends, our family, or even for ourselves. We know that technology makes us believe that life could be easier. But look around. Look at your life. Is it really easier now? Are you more restful in the morning? Are you less worried every day? The answer is no. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Damn it, David, you got me so much thinking about it, I stopped typing. But yeah, you're right. And I agree a lot with what you have to say. Now, I still believe that technology is beneficial to us as well.
No, you're wrong.
But this is a debate. And exactly. You are wrong. And David's laughing, but that's true. A debate, you're not supposed to agree with your opponent. You're supposed to try and convince a third party, an audience. So well done, David. Well articulated. And Han, you're up next. Han? Oh, sorry, Nan, not Han.
You mean
Hogan, sorry. Hogan.
Just confused.
Not getting Hogan.
Okay, so let's start. Okay, hi everyone. I'm here, Hogan again. So we discussed very productive aspects of is the technology makes our life easier or not. There's some sense the technology definitely makes our life easier. We have a lot of good machines and technologies so that we can take advantage of it. When you find a road and when you read a book and you take an English class like this. But on the other hand, the technology makes your life miserable. For example, as someone pointed out, you can be killed while you're driving if you talk to person or you try to take your picture like a self camera. Then it will make your life much more miserable. So the thing is that you really have to your technologies use very smart. Otherwise, your life will be very devastated. So so use your technology wise and try to make a lot of good friends and person to person and spend a lot of time with your family. So that will make your life much easier and convenient and happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hogan, but that was more of an argument than a debate. You came to a compromise, and I agree with you, but we normally would not do that in a debate.
Okay. So what do you really expect me to do it in conclusion? So just to
no, in conclusion, you summarize either your position on the affirmative or the negative. Remember,
okay.
You're not supposed to be open-minded to the other side.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, this is my first debate class from you, so yeah. Okay, I'll do that next time. Thank you.
No worries. All right, Nan, your closing statement, please.
Closing statement. Oh, okay. I do think that the technology makes our life easier, but it also depends on the cases. For example, nowadays we have online transfer. For example, if we pay by these verbal classes, we can pay by our credit card. But have you ever think about that if someone steal our information of the credit card? So in this case, we will lose a lot of our capitals. So and also the person who steal our information is also use the high level technology, as he must know a lot of the code in computer. So in this case, it's very complicated that if the technology is not used in a good way, so the crime will increase rapidly, and the normal people like we will really in a damage. So I do suggest that we should, when we use technology, we should be very careful, and in case that our information would be stolen by others. So it really depends on the case. If it is really makes our life easier or not.
Okay, good. Avoid words such as "it depends" or any words that seem to indicate that you might be softening your position. Always be direct. I forgot who said it earlier. I forgot it was earlier. Oh, not really. Use the word "not really." No, never say "not really." Just say "it does not." Right? Luba, you're last up. I didn't forget you this time.
I'm lucky this time. Thank you, Simon. So my name is Luba, and for all the reasons I mentioned above, the resolution must fall. And to support my negative attitude towards technology, I'd like to mention a very good phrase which was said by Steve Jobs. So he said, "I would trade all my technology for an afternoon with Socrates." So Socrates, yeah. So it is always better to speak to an interesting person, to a smart person, rather than chatting with computer or relying on computer too much. And in order to sum up all the ideas which were said, I'd like to ask some questions. Are we responsible with it? It means, like, do we realize why do we use it? Or do we use technology as a toy to entertain ourselves? Doesn't it consume us and control us? So before using the modern technologies, we have to realize that we are a master here, not a technology. Thank you. It was nice talking to you and having a debate with you.
Thank you very much. For those of you that have been with me for many classes on this topic, you have done fantastic. Really have grown. For those of you starting out, you're doing well, you're learning. I can see you improve from the beginning of the class to the end. And it's just focusing on the simple facts. You know, it's basic introduction. Hey, what is your opening statement, right? Support or against? Point, evidence. Point, evidence. Conclusion. Very simple. Unfortunately, though, that's all I can say right now. There is a link to all the classes I have this week and next. I've already published it. I have a class in 4 minutes, and I do have to go because I need to get some fresh water and just check on my son. But I'll be back here in 3 minutes, guys, with Jeopardy, and I hope to see each and every one of you there.